I'm gonna show you how I build my neutral bond plug for my inverter generator. You just get you a male plug. Here is the hot, and the silver one is your neutral. Then you got your green is your ground. But you take this male plug, and what you want to do is just get you a piece of wire, and you want to tie your common, which is your neutral, to your ground. So I'm putting it here on the neutral. I'm gonna just tighten it up. And then I'm gonna just jumper it across or short it across to my ground, which is the green. And you can get any of this stuff in the description. You want the screwdriver, or you want just a regular male plug, or you want voltmeters. Just look in my description below and you can find all this stuff in there. Also, I have my generator, my Powerhorse generator. It's an inverter generator. And I'm just showing you how these readings I'm getting off my generator. So this is my ground neutral bonded plug. So first of all, I'm gonna just ohm everything out. As you can see, I'm putting it on the selection to where it beep when you have a dead short. So I'm gonna just show you how this plug works. As you can see, my hot, and then I'm gonna touch it on my ground. You should get nothing. You don't hear no beep. But if I touch it on my neutral and then touch the ground, it should short out. You hear the beep. Neutral hot, nothing. But neutral ground is shorted. So I'm take my inverter Powerhorse generator right here. I'm gonna just ohm everything out on my neutral and ground. You notice that everything is open. They call this a floating neutral, neutral hot. So nothing is shorted together. And the only thing shorted together is the ground and the frame. So when I plug this plug in, you're gonna notice that my neutral and ground is now shorted together, just like the house is wired. I'm gonna unplug it. And neutral ground to frame. And that's ground to grounded frame. So you notice that the ground is grounded to the frame. So I'm gonna plug in this bonded neutral ground. You notice that my neutral is grounded to the frame now, because my neutral and my ground is shorted together with the plug. So I'm gonna check the voltage here when I start this inverter generator. So I'm gonna start it up here, turn it to run. Now I'm gonna check my voltage and just show you what type of volts is coming out of this inverter generator. It's a little strange. My neutral and ground, I'm getting 62 volts, AC volts. My hot and ground, 62 volts. And my neutral and hot, 124 volts. In my neutral to ground frame, 62 volts. In my hot to ground frame, 62 volts. So when I take this plug I fixed here, this ground bonded plug, now I bonded my ground and my neutral together. So when I hit neutral to ground, I should get 0 volts. And now when I do neutral to hot, it's 124 volts. So everything's 124 volts now. My hot to ground, 124 volts. So this is just like a house now, because my neutral is tied into my ground. So my hot and ground to frame is 124 volts. So this is the same reading as you will have, like if you measuring your measurements from your wiring in your house. So neutral to hot, 124 volts. Neutral to ground is 0 because they're tied in together now. And so I got this tester, this GFCI tester, or just tester. You notice that you got one light. That means you have a floating neutral. That means the ground and the neutral is not tied in together. So if I plug this in, you're gonna notice that the light to the right come on. So you got the middle light and the light to the right. So that means it's wired correctly now because it's ground neutral bonded. So when I pulled it out, you notice that it's got one light. When I plug it in, you're gonna notice that the light to the right also come on. That means it's correct now. So I unplug it. That lets me know the ground is not there. I plug it back in. That is the correct way. So when you look at this tester, you notice that the two lights to the right means correct wiring. When I unplug it, you notice just a light in the middle. That lets me know I have an open ground. So this machine is a floating neutral. That means nothing is wired in together. So if this video helped, subscribe to my channel, and you can also purchase stuff in my description or go to my website at www.weldingandstuff.net. Thank you.